Hello and welcome to La La Land on LA Talk Live. That's Dorothy Dillingham Blue. Oh, we can't hear you and we
Can
need
it,
your. There
there
you
we
go.
are. That's Brett Chapin across from me right there. Yes.
Yes, it
Yes, it
is.
is.
Thanks for joining
Yes,
us
it
on La La
is.
Land. This is the only nationally broadcast show by Los Angeles artists about Los Angeles artists on episode 109.
Fabulous.
Good stuff. Hey, Dorothy Dillingham Blue.
Well, hey, Brett.
Hey. We have a great show today. We
Yes.
have Pepper J of Actors Reporter and Actors Entertainment is going to be joining us.
Great.
And we should probably start out and just mention what a crazy week it's been for the country this week.
It has. It has. As crazy as it has been, I have been very inspired by the warm reactions I think people have given to supporting all of the several spots that have been under attack, really, whether it be from a person's personal agenda, like in Boston, or from mishappenings like in Waco with the fertilizer plant exploding, and how, as Mr. Rogers used to say, look for the helpers. And there were a lot of people that were helpers this time around, and not just ones that were in uniform, but those that really took the time and kept their eyes peeled and helped those in uniform do their jobs and help those that they could.
Absolutely.
So,
I was really impressed with the way law enforcement handled things, with the capture and the arrest. Our biggest respects and our hats off to all the law enforcement who worked on that. And, of course, the families of the victims. Our hearts go out to them.
Yeah, Boston is a big spot for a lot of Broadway shows that are trying out their show before heading to Broadway. And so I know that a lot of friends that I have from past shows or school or everything have really see Boston as that place where their show got that start, that warm welcome. And so from Los Angeles to Boston, we wish you safe healing and support.
Yes, and now the healing begins.
Yep.
Hopefully, it's
will.
a swift path.
Well, there was the thing that went around during the London Olympics. It was, keep calm and carry on, or something. And the one I saw for representing Boston was keep wicked calm and carry on and hold a beer. So we're gonna keep wicked calm and we're gonna give you some wicked support. So
Absolutely.
that was my attempt at a Boston accent. I apologize. Anyone who thinks I just bastardized it. But anyway.
Good stuff. We love you, Boston.
We love Boston.
Theater Minute.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much stuff going on in the arts right now.
Oh my goodness.
What do you have anything in particular you want to talk about? Because
Well,
I got a
sure.
bunch of stuff here.
Yeah, today I am going to the Palisades High School production of Legally Blonde. It's directed by a friend of mine, Nancy Casero-Fracciola. She's one of the creators of Tony and Tina's Wedding and recently took over the theater department at Palisades High. So I'm looking very forward to going and seeing those talented kids. I saw their production of Hairspray last year. Blown away, so excited. And they're getting a new theater complex next year. She just retired, but she was the oldest salaried contracted teacher in the history of LAUSD. I think she retired at 92. She was 92. And she has donated a lot of money for their pool and now their theater arts center. So that's really exciting. Also, I'm still in Spelling Bee.
Yes, you are.
At Theater Palisades. We are having a wonderful run. We are in weekend number 2. So you have the rest of this weekend and 3 more weekends after that to catch us. So yeah. Come
It's a
and
good
see
show,
it.
guys.
Thank
It's
you.
a really good show.
We have a lot of fun.
Except I understand Dorothy fell on the rope this weekend.
Yeah,
But
you
we
gotta
can-
love
Yeah.
live theater. They added this stunt into the show, and they volunteered me to do the stunt. Like I didn't even ask. They're like, "Oh, Dorothy will do it. Dorothy will swing from the rafters." I'm like, yeah. So they have this rope, and I have a crippling fear of heights, and so, but I got over it. But it was one of those things where it did seem sort of
The rope fell, right?
precariously,
The rope
yeah.
fell?
And I was mid swing. I swing and then I come back and I swing out and I come on the second swing back. All of a sudden I'm standing on the floor. Luckily I was standing and not lying there. But yeah, it detached from its ceiling hold all the way down. So all this rope like fell on my head. So it's one of those moments like, oh,
Live theater, you gotta
live
love it.
theater, you gotta love it. So I just threw the whole thing off the stage and kept going.
Well, you recovered. You
I
recovered.
recovered.
Yeah. So
'Cause
if you
that's
want
what
to
we
see
do.
Dorothy flying around the stage,
I do.
go
I
to
fly.
theaterpalisades.com.
Yes.
We have company playing at the Crown City Theater in North
Mm.
Hollywood right now. It is playing for the next 2 weekends, I believe. And go ahead and Google Crown City Theater. They're a great little place in
Yep.
North Hollywood. We have Sustaining Sound. This is the last weekend of Little Women, Sustaining Sound Theater Company. Our friend Ryan Rolls was in here a couple of weeks ago talking about that.
And it sponsors Forever Found, which is a company that, or a foundation that helps rescue girls from the sex trafficking industry in the United States.
Yes.
So,
Very worthy cause.
yes.
We have Spamalot playing at the Simi Valley Cultural Arts Center. For information on that, go to simi-arts.com or call 805-583-7900. And we're going to have the director of that show, Sean Harrington, on the show in a couple of weeks to tell us all about it. It's going to be good stuff.
Yay.
On the Spectrum, playing through April 28th, we had Jeannie Hackett on talking about that at the Fountain Theater, fountaintheater.com for information about that. I saw it. Phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Turns out she was an instructor of my friend Antonia Both, who did Cirque Berserk. So that was really fun. She was just like, oh my gosh, you had Jeannie Hackett on your show. She was one of my teachers. I'm like, oh my god.
She's taught everybody.
I know.
That woman's amazing. You know, and the two actors besides Jeannie that are in it, Dan Shakid and Virginia Newcomb, both play people. One has Asperger's, one has autism, and they just do a phenomenal job. It's very easy to make a role like that a caricature, and they didn't. They stayed away from that, so that was great.
That's wonderful.
Hats off to them. I'd love to have them on in the future. Spelling Bee, we talked about that. Walking the Tightrope at 24thstreettheater.com. One of the best shows going on in LA right now, in my opinion. Great. Excellent show. And we have Rent at Beyond the Stage Productions, beyondthestageproductions.com or therentproject.com, playing May 31st through June 2nd. I'm in it. Come see it.
Oh, and can I have one more lesson?
Yes.
My buddies at Sacred Fools. Yes, very nice, Manor. My buddies at Sacred Fools, they just had an extension for their show Neverwhere. So, and that will be extending. So.
I feel like there's 20 other shows that are in the back of my head that I just can't think of right now.
It's a jam-packed season right now. Like I mean, I have to say right now there is something going on at almost every space, I feel.
Yeah.
You know, that it's either about to open or it's currently running. So.
It's random. It's there's a lot of theater going on in LA right now.
Spring is sprung.
Good stuff. And also American Misfit at Boston Court. Go to bostoncourt.org for information on that. I hear it's a great show. I can't wait to see it. I hear there's violence toward burlap sacks in the show. I have no idea what that means, but I'm looking forward to finding out.
I want to find out what that is.
Any show with violence against burlap sacks, I'm there.
Because they're so mouthy.
Yes.
They're so mouthy. They just need to shut up.
Talking back, man. Don't talk back, burlap. Does that rhyme? I don't know.
Slightly.
Fringe Foe.
Yes.
So we're doing a segment on the show.
Really, Brett? I don't know if you can you carry the foe?
I can carry the foe. I'm all about the foe. That's Van Eric over there. He knows. Fringe 4, for those more professional types. We're doing a segment called Fringe 4 during the Fringe Festival, where we highlight 4 shows each week during the Fringe. The Hollywood Fringe Festival is a theater festival where there's, I don't know, hundreds of shows that go on throughout the course of 3 weeks. It's June 13th through June 30th, and there's a preview week from June 6th to June 11th. So we're going to take 12 of those shows and just talk a little bit about them.
Great.
Each week. So if you would like to be a part of our Fringe 4 or Fringe Foe segment, come on, Dorothy. Make sure you email us at lalalandtalk@gmail.com and put Fringe 4 in the subject line.
Yes.
And we will talk about your show, and it's free advertising, so I'd highly recommend it.
Yes.
That's about it, isn't it?
I think so.
Let's
Yeah.
get to Pepper J.
All right.
And take a quick break. If you guys want to find us on social media, you can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/lalalandtalk, Twitter at twitter.com/lalalandtalk. You can send us an email at lalalandtalk@gmail.com. And if you have any questions for the amazing Pepper J of Actors Reporter, make sure to give us a call at 323-247-7443, 323-247-7443. We'll be back with Pepper J on La La Land on LA Talk Live. Welcome back to La La Land on LA Talk Live. That's Dorothy Dillingham Blue.
Hey, there's Brett Chapin. Whoop. Now I'm back.
There she is.
There I am.
Over
Sorry,
here
I
on my
moved.
side
I moved.
this week. And we are talking with Pepper J of Actors Reporter. Thank you so much for joining us, Pepper.
My pleasure, Brett. Hi, Dorothy.
Hi, Pepper.
Pepper's a second-time guest on La La Land, and she's here to talk with us about a lot of different things that she's working on. But first, to start out, can you tell us a little bit about, and by the way, for any information on Actors Reporter, go to actorsreporter.com. But before we even get into that, let's talk a little bit about the music that you're producing right now. This is something that I wasn't aware of, actually, until today. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Well, I think you noticed when you came over to the place that we had several hundred people there. We had a lot of music playing.
Yes.
Yes, and
Fourth
many of
of
those.
July party.
Fourth of July party a couple of years ago. That was great.
Mhm.
And my partner, John Michael Ferrari, is a songwriter and a singer, and I'm a producer, and that's how it started. The song that just started us into this section, When Love Said Goodbye, is an amazing sort of 60s, 50s type throwback song about love that's, didn't work out. And I just love producing music. Some of those other people that were performing are students of ours. And it's fun.
Excellent. And you have another song, too, Don't Fall Between the Daylight, that we're going to be playing a little bit later.
Well, that would be great. We have a lot of songs, and Don't Fall Between the Daylight. One of the young people, beautiful mid-20s young ladies that was in our studio, turned out to be a cutter. I never even heard of cutters before. I've heard of teen suicides, but not where they actually cut their wrists with maybe yes or maybe not the intention to commit suicide. My partner John was so moved that he wrote that song, Don't Fall Between the Daylight. And it's interesting. I think the version you're going to hear is at the time, an 11-year-old little girl from Florida, I think, that was starting in the music business that wanted to sing it. And I think that's on YouTube now. But it's a lovely song, and a lot of the suicide prevention centers have picked that up, hopefully for very good uses.
Where can people listen to it if they want to hear it?
Well, you can go to iTunes and look up John Michael Ferrari, and he's working on an album. There are several singles on there. I think the single that he's received most attention for, called Dust Off, that's on there. I think when Let's Run Away to Alaska, When Love Said Goodbye. I think there are 3 or 4 singles up there. I'm not sure about Don't Fall.
Awesome.
But yeah.
Shout out to John Ferrari.
Yeah, shout out to John Ferrari. He was in Vietnam many decades ago. They say war is hell, but you don't really know what that means until you're in it. I think, unfortunately, Boston got a little taste of that this week, and Texas also.
Yes.
But it's a really strange place to land when you're 17, 18 years old, as he did, being dropped from a parachute into a swamp with snakes and people shooting at you, and not knowing, who was shooting at you or where the enemy was, and people dying and in pain and crying all around you. And in the middle of all that, this helicopter shows up with this red light coming down, and their job is to pick up the wounded and the dead. And they are so brave. That helicopter in Nam was called the Dust Off. And that's what he wrote that song about. And
My father was a physician in the Air Force during Vietnam, and his job was to make sure that those helicopter rescue teams were staffed and supplied.
Amazing.
That was his job.
The soldiers, yes, we're proud of the soldiers, but the medics and the people that come in under those circumstances, it's just an amazing thing. If you go to the Dust Off Association, that's one of the associations that have honored John and his song Dust Off. And they have a whole page on him. You can hear the song then.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things about this show is that you never know where the conversation is going to lead. If you
I
had told me
know.
we'd be talking about Vietnam in this interview, I would have had no idea. But it's fascinating.
Hmm.
Yeah, well,
John?
music transcends. It tells us about who we are, and it explains who we are, I think, all at the same time.
I agree.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you also work you run and have founded Actors Reporter, actorsreporter.com. Can you tell our audience a little bit about what that is?
Hmm.
It's a lot to explain.
Yeah.
I know.
Well,
I know.
Actors Reporter it's an entertainment trade magazine that's now just online.
Mhm.
It's actually one of 3 channels on the Actors Podcast Network. Actors Reporter, Actors Entertainment, and Actors Radio, which it intends to launch May 1st. But Actors Reporter is it's like a magazine. It's like a newspaper. They have daily links to entertainment news. So if you wanted the entertainment news all in one place really quick, whether it's news from the BBC in London or Asia or Latin America, Billboard with the music, or ABC, Fox, The Blaze, whatever the source is, it's all in one place. And we feature interviews where we go into actors' homes and interview them about their career. And there are several shows and columns on there, and it's fun. It's very informative news and commentary.
Yeah, you guys check it out if you haven't seen it, because you have every type of art show on there. I mean, you have a music show, a theater show, a interview show. I mean, it's just a wide array of different varieties of different types of art.
Right, you're talking now that you're speaking about the other channel, Actors Entertainment.
Yes.
Which is one of the sister channels. We have 8 entertainment shows. They're also informative, but they're more entertainment and information mixed.
Mm-hmm.
Side beat music.
Mm-hmm.
We're hoping to have LA Live as a guest, because about they have music shows and your show and different things that sometimes do music.
Yes.
We feature composers, bands, musicians that write for video games, all different sorts of things. The Simpsons music people were on, different people like that. Acting in Style, where we feature red carpets that feature fashion or designers or models. Model's Best Friend, which also does models, but a lot of photographers and different people that deal with the whole modeling world. Thespian Thoughts, Brett Chapin is one of our hosts for Thespian Thoughts, which does theater review in Los Angeles. We talked about Boston and New York and different cities around the country. And
That's my favorite show.
is that because that's the one you host? I like that show. My favorite show is Tinsel on the Town. Tinsel on the Town is a show that's hosted by Danica Quinn, who's probably, bar none, one of the best hosts around today. And she goes to some event or party. She's invited with the camera crew and lights and talks to the hosts and the guests and stuff, and they put it in a big DVD. And we've done events for the Screen Actors Guild, and we're going to be doing, we mentioned the Simpsons anniversary party over at Fox, and different things. And it gives you a chance to look inside the entertainment industry, but with a fun, casual twist. It's real fun. I like actorsentertainment.com. It's a fun place to work.
Great.
Me too. It's got a lot of great content, especially for an actor that's just starting out and wants to find out a little bit about the industry. It's a great resource for that.
Oh, thank you.
As well.
Can I give a tangent, like really quick?
Please.
Yeah.
So I had this audition this week, and I go out commercially. So a lot of times it's a lot of people dress similarly to me. They have dress upscale casual, and this week it was dress in khakis and a button down. So I'm in a waiting room with a lot of people with khakis and a button down. But there was another session as well, and it was a mix of super tall, super thin models and little people. They were both called in for this one thing. And the models that were called in, they would go in, and I've never been so happy to be a commercial actress in my whole life, because they would come out and have to go back in bikini and heels. And I'm watching them, and I'm like, I am so glad I'm a commercial actress. I want to stay character for the rest of my life, because I will never have to do that. Thank you for making me under 5'6". I mean, it's just great. It was a beautiful feeling. So that was my tangent.
How
That's a
fun
model
is that?
story.
It's interesting that you said that for
Mhm.
two reasons. First of all, how to audition and what to wear, hints and tips about the entertainment industry for people that want to be in it.
Yeah.
That's a lot of what Actors Reporter is about.
Mhm.
Yes.
But also, our Acting and Style show, the one that will be airing May 1st, I think, is all about what actors wear to auditions.
Oh, yeah.
Good
And
one.
we've had several actors come in to interview segments of that. And most of the time, they don't wear much more than a hint of the character.
Mhm.
But once in a while, they go all out. And so these were some Patrick Kilpatrick, who was in Under Siege, and, really a Danny Pardo, that is in 24, and, Prison Break and everything. I'm really, some really fine actors just going all out. Danny did a
Oh, yeah.
lottery commercial for the lottery, and of course booked just about everything he goes out for. And flamboyant to the max. It'll be a fun episode to see. So that's an interesting story.
Oh, yeah, because you
Yeah.
never know like what everyone's translation of a wardrobe statement is.
Right.
What is nice casual? What is that?
Who knows?
That's
Who
a
knows?
hard one.
They say that Marion Ross, the mom from
Mhm.
Happy Days, for all her auditions wore the exact same red dress. And they said that that's part of the reason that she got a callback, is because she was always recognizable on to
Oh.
the producers of Happy Days when she went in as the woman in the red dress.
Right.
Oh,
So-
well,
That's
I
important.
that is one
Yeah.
tip that I heard was go for your callback. Always wear what you wore for the first
Right.
call. So I make notes in my appointment calendar about what I wore, and that way, and I hang it up immediately. So if I'm called back, then I just take it out of my closet and it's ready to go.
That's
Interesting.
interesting. One of our sponsors at the Actors Reporter is Performer Track. I don't know if you're familiar with it.
Okay, that's what I thought was Actor's Log.
Oh, that's what
Performer
you.
Track.
Oh,
Yes.
Holden Log. That's what you
Holden
saw.
Log, yes.
They are amazing people, and I like it because they set you up so that you can write all that down when you
Mhm.
go to an audition. Because I don't know, I don't know what I wore, and sometimes it can be months where they call you back. Who was there? What you did, what you wore. And I would say not only to wear on a callback what they brought you in for in the first place, but make sure you look like your headshot. How many times people come in and they don't look like their headshot? That's the biggest complaint casting directors have.
Oh yeah,
Sure.
absolutely.
And how did you get started with the whole thing? I mean, was there some particular event that gave you the idea that I'm going to start an Actors Podcast Network, or
The 4 scariest words in my life are when my partner, John, says, I have an idea. I see literally months or years flash in front of my eyes. We've been partners about a quarter of a century now. And that can lead to lots of good things. They're always good ideas, but you can't do them all. But we had a student about 5 or 6 years ago that had a question, and he couldn't find the answer. And he said, Pepper, look on the Screen Actors Guild site for the answer. And I looked, sag.org, and I found it, but it was very hard. It was deep down in. So I thought, that was weird. And so John said, I have an idea. What is it? He says, let's make a site for information for actors. And that's how it started. It started as FerrariSagPodcast.com. And I went to the Screen Actors Guild. We became signatories and this, that, and the other. And then after a while, it got so popular, SAG said, well, I don't think we like that. SAG podcast and someone else owning it besides us. So we sat on a big table with a lot of SAG lawyers, and we came up to, well, make that a small thing of something larger. Because we were already at that time doing AFTRA news and equity news and other union news and stuff. So that became Actors Reporter. And we still do union news for actors, but it started out to be for actors. And the Actors Reporter went on to be for anybody that wants to know anything about the entertainment industry. Who knew?
Who knew?
Yeah.
Best
And you
laid
guys,
plans.
5 years later, you've got all these shows.
We feel very blessed, and we appreciate our audience and our sponsors and everyone, and you, and LA Live, LA Talk Live is so cool.
And we're also lucky enough to be syndicated with Actors
That's right.
Entertainment Network on your Actors Radio
Right.
network that is launching on May 1st, I believe.
May 1st, Actors Ready will launch, and La La Land,
Mm-hmm.
that's you guys.
That's us.
Yes, we're going to link right out to you. We're going to have some of our original content, and then we're going to share with people that we think really have quality stuff. like LA Talk Live, La La Land,
People will be able to watch past episodes. And
right. We have it'll be on the Filmmakers Corner with Roxy. She will be one of the shows on the set with Jasper Cole, who's a fine character actor. Talk about Dorothy being a great character actor. Jasper Cole and Ralph Cole Jr. are wonderful. I was on their radio show last week. They really rock. It'll be fun to see radio shows. I have never done anything like that before.
Can't wait.
Yay.
Keep an eye out for the big launch, guys.
Yay.
May 1st.
Yeah, you can start to follow us.
Mayday.
On Twitter, Actors Radio, and on Facebook, Actors Radio. We don't exist quite yet, but follow us anyway.
Pre-follow.
Pre-follow, yay.
Very nice. We're talking with Pepper J of actorsreporter.com. If you have any questions for Pepper, make sure to give us a call at 323-247-7443, just like our current caller did. Hello, caller.
Yay!
Yay! Hello. Thanks for calling.
Hello,
What's your name?
this is John.
Oh, John.
Hey, John Ferrari. We were just talking
Hey,
about
Brett,
you.
how you doing?
I'm good, thanks.
So funny. I'm surprised
You
he's even
guys look
awake on a
terrific.
Saturday.
Well, you're terrific too, John. Anything that this is Pepper J's partner at Actors Entertainment, Actors Reporter. Did you want to add anything? Tell our audience anything about Actors Entertainment, John?
You know, as Pepper, what Pepper said was true. I always come up with these wonderful ideas, but you know, they would never facilitate into the magnificent things they are without Pepper J actually taking the action. I come up with the ideas, but she makes it happen. You know, it's a good culmination between the two of us.
Yes, it is.
Good stuff.
And when did you first start to work together?
Well, actually,
I mean,
was
with what?
performing. Huh?
What were you doing? We know it's like 25
when
years
we-
ago, but
Well, I was performing at a resort.
Highland Springs
And Pepper
Resort.
walked in and saw me performing, and she said, "You know, you're very good, but I can make you better." and she did. She took my career to the higher level, and it worked out, and we became a pretty good team working together. I come up with the ideas, and she makes it happen.
John's an amazing performer, and actually after that, I did share with him the performance skills, and now he teaches with me performance skills. But at the time, he was touring all over the country, year after year after year, all these different states he was headlining. And then after a while, he came home from like a 6 or 7 month stint and said, "I don't want to do that anymore. I want to sing and perform, but please don't send me away again." So it's like, okay.
that is, the touring life is not for everyone, and it takes its toll. It's like, and you feel. We were talking with Christopher McNeely a couple weeks ago about how you reach those goals of things that you really wanted, and you enjoy the experience that it is. But then you have to remember, it's not just about the work; it's about the life too.
That's right. Well, they were very nice to him.
Oh, of course.
Tennessee, Florida, Georgia, you
Oh.
name it. They would take him golfing and out to dinner, and the people were.
Well, there's a whole philosophy I live by when I'm performing that there's never a stranger in the audience.
Oh,
And
that's
when
a
I
good
come
one.
out to perform, I act as though all the people in the audience are my friends. And after the show, I get invited everywhere. It's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, that was nice.
Oh,
I
yeah.
like that. There's no
I
stranger
love
in the
that
audience.
too. You can become like a tourist or a friendly tourist in these different cities. I think that's a wonderful thing to experience.
Right.
You get to see it through eyes that maybe no one else would have the opportunity to have.
No,
Absolutely.
it's a lot of fun touring. It is, because you meet wonderful people. You go to each town. They take you golfing. They take you everywhere. And sometimes the relationships that I've found, they've lasted a lifetime.
Oh yeah, they
and
still
that's the wonderful
communicate.
thing about being on tour. But you're away from home, 6-7 months out of the year, sometimes longer. It gets tiring sometimes, but I'm glad I was fortunate to do that. But also now I'm fortunate to do what Pepper and I are doing right now, which is working with all these wonderful people.
Right.
Wonderful.
Good stuff. We love listening to you guys.
Thank
Yeah.
you for calling in, John, and thank you for being awake this early.
John, can you stay on the line for another 20 minutes?
Well, I can hang out. I'll watch you guys. You guys are doing terrific. I really love this. I didn't have to get dressed to come down to the studio. I just call it in.
Hang out on the line, because I have a question for you both, actually. So you're walking on the beach, you find a magic lamp and you rub it, and a genie comes out and he says, Pepper and John, I can take Actors Reporter, Actors Entertainment anywhere you want in the next 5 years. Where would you want it to go?
You answer first.
You answer.
Well, I really like what's happening. I feel we're very blessed. The response to Actors Reporter has been international, amazing. The best part about it are all the people that we meet, particularly during the live chat show, Actors Eat Chat, where, Brett, you've been a guest, and I want LA Talk Live to be a guest also. They come from all over the world, and they come right into our studio. It's like the entertainment industry. We've had, Christopher Atkins from the Blue Lagoon, Joe Mantegna from Criminal Minds, or just all those working actors that you go, oh, I don't know his name, but you remember him? He was in fill in the blank. I just really feel grateful for the sponsors and for and I just want more and more. What would you say, John?
Well, whenever we do something, I never worry about the outcome, because whatever I think the outcome is going to be, it always turns out to be better than I estimated. So sometimes I kind of undershoot the expectation, which is good. As good as I think I want something to be, it always turns out better than I thought it would be. So, I think the idea of where this is going, it's leading us to a whole bunch of new projects and a lot of new exciting things. I just want it to keep going, and sharing. And I think the secret is sharing and helping other people, because if you share and help other people, then you grow. Everybody helps you grow.
Right.
Absolutely. It's fascinating to me just how in the last 3 years that I've known you, how much you guys have grown. I mean, when I first started watching the show, it was just shot, in your living room with, I think, Brett and Danica, and that was it.
Yeah, well, we had four hosts and one camera, and pretty simple at that time. The live shows was at its infancy anyway. The type of equipment that they had to live video edit for home. Stickcam, right? Yeah, they had Stickcam. They had just starting like Ustream going way out there. They had Wirecast for your editing machines and things, and that's what we try to do. We try to be helpful, and that works out for us. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, and at some point we decided to invest in TriCaster, which is a very good editing video live editing
video
software.
Equipment, yeah. Hardware and
software. That's really upped our whole game, having that. It's really done a lot for us.
Right.
We can do almost any kind of professional shoot up for cameras. It's a wonderful piece of equipment that's helped us step up even our game to a higher level.
Right, so because we have a
wonderful addition.
We have a production company, Pepper J Productions, and John joined it in 1990, actually. But what we're doing online gets us clients. It's great. Shoot this infomercial. I want to make this music video. Everyone wants to make a movie or a TV short or a TV long or whatever.
Really?
And without advertising, people see what we do on this, and they come in and say, well, wait a minute, you have cameras, and you have C-stands, you have audio, and you have crews. Do you? And we say, yeah, we do.
We do it all.
Yeah, well, I don't know about all. I'm not Spielberg, but with John at my side, we can do just about anything under $3 million. Is our sweet spot, starting at about 250,000, we can build just about anything.
Very nice. One of my least favorite excuses from actors about why they're not getting auditions is, well, I don't have a reel. And you really, and I always think, well, why? There's so much. Shoot something with your cell phone, shoot something with a video camera. I mean, it's not that hard. And this is something that you really did, not as an actor, but as a producer. You were proactive. You saw the opportunity for media exposure with different subject matters, and you just went out and did it. I think that's great.
Right. Well, it's taken a life under its own, and we have a lot of crew. It's certainly not John and I. It's John and I and an amazing team of hosts, editors, graphic artists.
And John, you've got a lot of media experience. You've worked on Good Morning America. You've done a lot of different things. How do you think that translates into producing your own work?
Well, I started performing when I was in high school on stage, and I've been fortunate that I've done it my whole life. And I think anytime you do this, what helps is just life experience and learning that wherever you want to do, you start with what you have, and don't put any limitations on what could happen or might happen. Just start working at it and start doing it, and it's amazing what unfolds to you. What gifts will be given to you.
You're in demand. Your phone's ringing off the hook.
You know, and you might even have someone at your front studio door. So I think he needs to go take care of business.
You got to leave us, Sean? Okay.
No, I just walked in the other room.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
At the front door.
Someone else will get it then. All right.
Stay with us. We got 20 minutes to go.
Right.
Oh, I didn't know you could hear that. Anyway, sorry.
That's okay.
So, you know, whenever you do anything, it comes from your life experiences, and then you just, like I said, start with what you have. Because, like you said, Brett, some people start with an iPhone. Start with whatever you have, and it will turn into something terrific for you.
I always tell actors, please also try out student films.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Because if you really don't have a reel and you're just starting out, the universities in your community, wherever you're living, or the colleges, they have student films. You can get into it. You know, they give you a real copy, you know, of part of what you've done, and you just start gathering until you put something together.
And I don't care what anybody says. Some of those student films are just as professional as a regular low-budget independent.
Right. Well, University of Southern California and Claremont, particularly in the greater Los Angeles area, they have amazing professionals. Not that I'm one of them, but I've assisted before, and people that are in the business directing and overseeing this. So and they have amazing equipment. Mm-hmm. They have state-of-the-art equipment at some of these schools. So student films, go to Actors Access and sign up for free and find out where the students' films are.
It's amazing. I've gone to a lot of auditions at USC for student films, and they have an entire building that's just devoted to people auditioning for their student films.
Right.
Mm-hmm. You know, it's incredible.
I've even done a short film for a LASA student for the LA High School of the Arts, and you know, these are students that they went through a very rigorous audition process to become part of this community. And so they're really, not only did I have a great time and, you know, was able to dive into a fun part, but they were open to play. And I think that's what's interesting with, you know, working with sort of the next generation is that they might be a little more willing to play. And that can be a really great experience as an actor to kind of, you know, maybe stretch muscles that you hadn't stretched in a while.
Well, improv is so important. I find
much.
that independent films, even feature films, you can improv even at your auditions, throw things in, particularly if it's your second one. Be a little careful if you're doing sitcoms.
Sure. Sitcoms
have a certain joke pattern and a certain, they have the push words and different things, right, where the writers could be in the room.
Yeah.
So I'd be a little more careful at improving for an audition for a sitcom than I would, say, a nighttime drama or a feature film.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
What if you could give an actor a piece of advice that's looking to maybe break into the industry? Is there a particular piece of advice that you would give them?
My first thought is don't.
But always the first answer we get when we ask that question.
Well, you know, the Screen Actors Guild.
I have one.
Okay, very
go ahead, John.
good.
Go, John, go.
Well, because, you know, we do a lot of auditions for hosts and things, and you'd be surprised. My first thing is show up. You'd be
On
surprised
time.
how many people don't show up.
Right.
Yeah, that's
a
important.
good piece.
And it seems simple, but a lot of people don't show up for their auditions. And, you know, how can they ever expect to get anywhere? You know, that's the first thing.
Yeah.
It's an acting business. It's an entertainment business, and you really have to show them that they can put money into you. You have just what John said. You have to be responsible, professional, be there on time, be there early, know your stuff. You know, be prepared. Why should they choose you if you're not going to be doing those things? The talent is quite different. I started to say no only because I'd like everyone to remember that 1% of all of the members of the Screen Actors Guild make a living doing acting. And that's how many people are here. And there's a whole crop of people that come to Hollywood every year trying to do this. I don't say don't do it. I just say, you know, give it your best shot and see what happens. And also create your own projects. Now, everyone can be a producer, you know, with a little camera, like you said, and
Sure.
an iPhone.
It's one of the funniest classes I took, the woman walked in on the first day of class and said, if there's anything that you think that you could be doing outside of this, I want you to leave now. And it's true.
Yeah.
It really has to be something that's in your heart. It has to be something that you really feel like there's nothing else on earth that you were put
Right.
here to do.
And then when you're done and you had your shot and you had your fun, go home and find a real job.
Sure.
Sure. And you can always at the same time do the community theater.
Absolutely.
And the students. And you can, if you want to act, you can act.
Yeah.
It's just if you want to be rich and famous, there seems to be a little bit of a challenge.
But it's so easy to spot those people, don't you think? The ones that are in it for the right reasons and the ones that aren't. I feel like it is.
I guess
all the
I'm not
time.
very good at that. I just sort of wish well for everyone. I don't know.
There you go. And also, I would say something that I've learned just in recently hosting Thespian Thoughts. Energy. It's kind of like, it's been like taking an acting class.
Right.
These last few episodes, it's something that when you go into an audition, you have to have energy. You can't be down.
Right.
Got to be up.
Well, you received that tip from John Ferrari, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, because one of the things that we teach when we teach performance skills, we teach lawyers speaking to juries or singers performing, actors and things, is to really be into that moment. And when you're being a host, like you are right now, you have to be alive.
Absolutely.
Just like LA Talk Live has to be live and energetic. John's very good at pulling that out of people.
John was saying, say it like this, and he was getting really, and I'm looking at him going, what, you're over the top, John.
Right.
But it really wasn't.
No, we call it the gigolo movement. About 25 years ago, John was performing the song Gigolo, and we taped it and we saw it, and he was still just sort of, sounded good, but he wasn't really performing. And I said, well, why don't you pretend like you're a clown in the circus and just go real crazy over the top? And he goes, okay, that's a little weird. And so we did it and we taped it. And in actuality, it wasn't over the top at all. Well, maybe a little, but it really showed him. It was his gigolo moment as to what energy and really being alive and sharing a performance with an audience is. And now he teaches that. That's fun.
And people want to work with people who have a great, positive, forward energy. If they're having to pull it from you over and over and over again, they wonder, will you ever get to a higher energy? But even if you start with a high energy, to me, because I direct, is that it's easier for me to taper energy down than it is to build energy up.
Every time.
Every time. And so if even if it's the first time I'm meeting someone at an audition, if they come in with this great energy, even if they sing a little off key perhaps, but they're committed to that character, they're committed to the choice that they make during their cold read, they're committed to whatever dance combination I've given, and they're willing to do it over and over again, I will take that person over the low energy on key person.
Right.
And I really believe
always,
that. I don't,
always.
And sometimes you're lucky you get both. You get talent and on time energy.
Yes.
And
but having high energy like that will affect your personal life, because when you walk around with that kind of energy, you attract good things to you.
That's right.
So if you want something in your life, keep that energy up and you will attract it to you.
And lots of appreciation.
Right.
Absolutely.
Well, I have after a performance of Spelling Bee, I find that I come upstairs and I have people come in, like, kind of grab my arm. They're like, oh, it's you. And I'm like, yes, it's me. And, as much as it's kind of like shocking for someone to come up and like take your arm like that or something, I remember the reason why they're doing that is because I put that energy forth. And so I don't say no to that energy. I always say yes. Say yes.
Absolutely. And I don't think that casting directors, a lot of people get really intimidated by casting directors and producers when they have to go into an audition. I don't think they're the bad guy. I really think the casting directors want the person to do well, because
they
it makes their
desperately
job
want them
easy.
to do well. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
I have several. Oh my gosh. Did I tell you about Rex going on the audition?
Let's talk about that off air. No,
Okay.
tell it on air. Go ahead.
Okay, well, so
It's all about you.
No, but here's an idea. Here's the thing: is that with positive energy, and it, like you said, John, that it bleeds into your life and positive things happen. So I posted photos from Easter of my son, who's 4, and he looks like Children of the Corn, like he's got white hair and blue eyes and everything.
Cutest kid.
He's so funny. He's not exactly the most direction based person. So I haven't really taken him out on that many auditions. But a friend of mine who's a casting director emailed me and said, I'm looking for, a kid that looks like this. And so I brought him in, but I also brought some of my students in. And the whole idea was, you know what? She's giving me a positive. So I'm going to give, I could tell that my son was really not going to go with what they were doing. But I thought, you know what? I know that they're looking to make their project the best. So I'm going to pull from my students the best that I know and give them an opportunity, give those families an opportunity to see what that's like. And the kids are having a good time. I know they're going to go in with a positive experience. So that's my story.
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
Yeah.
If you're having fun, and that applies to anything, if you're having fun, you're gonna give a good impression.
Exactly.
Yay.
So what's coming up in the future for Actors Reporter and right now, and Actors Entertainment?
We just aired the featured exclusive interview with Randall Kleiser. He's the director of Grease, Blue Lagoon, Flight of the Navigator. Fascinating, very sharing, very informative. That's the front page of Actors Reporter. I'm excited about that.
Love it.
And we're putting together, outside of the Actors Reporter, a new oldies show. We do oldies. I produce it. John is the lead singer. Ferrari and Friends has always been the name of the show. This time it's going to be something like Celebrity Ferrari and Friends, because some of these actors, working actors that are leads in series and different things, they sing. So we thought we would bring them in each for like a 2 or 3 song thing. So we're putting that together now.
Oh, how cool.
Most of the time when we perform for country clubs, nightclubs opening for other people or whatever.
I would love to see
different
that.
things.
Oh my God.
It's an amazing. Well, because normally the background singers that sing behind John, one sings with the Drifters.
Oh my
one was
goodness.
with the OJs. Well, you know how that works, don't you?
Sure.
A band or a singing group is able to use the word Drifters or Platters or Temptations as long as one living member of the original group is with them. And so what they do is, even if they have only one member that's living, they tour all over the world. So, for example, the Drifters, they have people that are the Drifters with them on the West Coast and in Asia. And they have another group of Drifters that are with them that are on the East Coast and in Europe. And so some of John's background that we use in Ferrari and Friends, they happen to be singing with the Drifters on the West Coast. And so the back line themselves with all the moves and this, that, and the other, when they're doing the Motown type song, it's real fun. It's fun. And Danica Quinn comes in and sings. And this year we're going to have Aaron Carfield from Lincoln Lawyer and I mean, all sorts of different. Alison Urajeta, who's one of our students that top 4 of American Idol season 8, and a lot of it. It'll be fun. It'll be really great. So that's what we're putting together now.
Do you want to sing?
I sing. I'm loud and usually on key.
Yeah, I know. Your musical theater stuff is great. This is great. And so that's what we're putting together right now. If you go to actorsreporter.com, go to actorsentertainment.com, and you go to the top right of those sites, and you click and connect with the Twitter and the Facebook, when that starts happening, and we were just invited into a particular place in Pacific Palisades, Steve's Deli, which is an amazing deli in Pacific Palisades. But I want to make sure, actually, it's John's idea.
That's on Monument, isn't it?
It's on Strathmore.
Swarthmore.
Swarthmore, thank you.
Yes.
We want to make sure that kids can come, because we always, or John particularly, likes to make sure that kids can get involved. And,
I agree.
Sure.
And so if there's a full bar, sometimes they can't come in. So that's kind of what's happening with us right now. We audition for students, performance students, once or twice a month. We don't usually take very many. We usually, recommend them to singing teachers or other people that are doing things. John and I only take students where we see where they're at and where they want to go, and we know we can get them there. So if we want to make sure they can really do a darn good job on recording an album, we'll take them. If they're, performing, on Good Morning America or on ABC, we help them. They want to be on The Voice, or they want to win American Idol. We think they can do that. With hard work, we'll take them. Other than that, we just refer them to a lot of very wonderful singing teachers.
Very nice. I got a chance to sit in on one of your lessons, one of your video lessons that you
Oh.
did a couple of years ago.
Oh, I don't remember. How fun is that? Who was the student?
Is the person whose name I can't think of. We were trying to figure out earlier. It was you and John, and she was over the screen. But you guys did a really great job of just
Montana Tucker.
No, it was a one name person. It was a nickname.
Nikki Nova from, she was top 10 in the Taiwan Idol. We think of American Idol, but Taiwan Idol had over 100 million viewers for their finale.
Jeez.
Watching that. Yeah, she was the first Westerner even to break in top 20, and our student broke in top 10. I was so proud of her.
Very nice.
Yeah, I can't remember who that
was. But when
was.
I was watching that, you guys did a lot of work just kind of talking to her about how she should feel during the songs, which was interesting because it was like it was getting behind the words of the music. It's not just singing the words because they're on the paper. You were actually talking about the emotion.
Well, performance skills is a lot of things. John takes over a lot of the vocalizations. I mean, if they really need a singing teacher, they should go to a singing teacher. But if they just need a little help with their tonation or things, he'll do it. But mostly performance skills is audience psychology. It's learning different reasons why an audience member would not want to turn away from you, whether it's because of the way you sound, the way you look, or the way you make them feel. That's performance skills. Yeah.
Great work. Well, we love you, Pepper J.
Thanks, Brett. Thanks, Dorothy, for having me.
Thank you.
And we love you, John Michael Ferrari.
Yay!
Oh, yay, thank you, guys. You guys are wonderful.
Thanks so much for coming on. We'll see you soon. For any information on Actors Reporter, go to actorsreporter.com, go to actorsentertainment.com, or go to actorsradio.com very soon.
Yay.
In the future.
I hope so.
Quick shout out to all our amazing sponsors for the month of April.
Thank you, sponsors.
Yes, we love you, sponsors. Thank you, Colleen Keene, Cindy Marie Jenkins, Doris DeLucci, Elizabeth Olkirk, Doug Oliphant, Caitlin Bauer, Michael Seal, Marie Baumgartner, Danny Gilmore, Lauren Hawkins, Kristen Towers Rolls, and our 3 anonymous sponsors. Thank you so much.
How nice.
Good stuff. Next week, we are going to be having the amazing Jen Nagel and Jen Wilson of Guides the Web series. They were here. Remember this, man, Eric? They were here for our very first episode here at LA Talk Live. They're coming back. They've got some new stuff going on with Guides the Web series, so they're going to tell us all about that.
Cool.
Good stuff.
Can't wait to meet them.
Go see Dorothy and Spelling Bee at Theater Palisades.
Yes!
Go see me and Rent at Beyond the Stage Productions, therentproject.com.
Yes!
And find us on Facebook at facebook.com/LaLaLandTalk, Twitter, twitter.com/LaLaLandTalk. Send us an email at lalalandtalk@gmail.com. If you would like to be involved in our Fringe 4 segment, send us an email. Tell us about your show that's in the Hollywood Fringe Festival with Fringe 4 in the subject line. If you'd like to be a part of our Theater Minute segment, go ahead and send us an email with Theater Minute in the subject line and tell us all about your show. And anything else, Dorothy Dillingham Blue?
Oh, wow. Brett Chapin. I feel full. I feel very full of knowledge and welcoming with Pepper J here, and I can't wait to meet all our guests next week.
Me neither.
All right.
I mean, me too. Something like that. Thank you so much, Pepper J.
My pleasure.
For all of us here at LA Talk Live and La La Land, I'm Brett Chapin. That's Dorothy Dillingham Blue.
Yep.
This is La La Land on LA Talk Live, and we'll see you at the top.